So from time to time on my YouTube channel, I get the, shall we say, fanatic among the alternative health believers, and it is really fantastic to watch their reaction and demands. So recently I had a guy, we'll call him Old Yeller, because that's what his avatar picture is. Basically, Old Yeller decided that I knew nothing about what I was talking about, and that intravenous vitamin C is really superior to chemotherapy, and that he demanded that I take his challenge and show him that papers that chemotherapy worked, and that the survival rates for chemotherapy were only actually single-digit figures. Now, first of all, if you know anything about cancer survival rates, you'll know that the vast majority of cancer survival rates are not single figures. The average cancer survival rate in the UK is around 60 to 70%, depending on cancer. So that's a pretty good survival rate. And when you start to break it down into individual cancers, you are looking at least there's 80% survival rates for some cancers, really high 70%. So this is complete nonsense. Now, I showed him this, and he goes, "Oh, well, Cancer Research UK, they are clearly biased in showing their..." And I'm like, what? Well, I'm not. Then I asked him, okay, where can I get these reliable figures? And what does he do? Shows me a page on Natural News, and I'm like, well, clearly they are, clearly an unbiased source you're showing me there. So then I showed him the papers, and he basically said, well, you've clearly not shown what I asked for. And I'm like, all these papers show an improvement to chemotherapy, showing that chemotherapy works and is effective. You asked for papers showing chemotherapy. In fact, you can hear a ping on my phone. I'm pretty sure that's him. Yep, it is. It's him replying. I did this video too soon, but yeah, my God, and he got to a point, and the recent one was, oh, chemotherapy only has a 2% survival rate. Well, we've done this song and dance so many times. I've made at least 2 videos explaining why people who do this are wrong. I've gotten to the point where I'm fed up of actually talking about this, to the point where I was copying and pasting my argument because they weren't changing theirs. So now I've literally just gone to the point where, hey, look, I'll point you to this oncologist who is basically saying why it's wrong. So basically he said that an oncologist was unqualified and clearly out of her depth when talking about this, and the fact that that there is a clearly 60% survival rate in the Australia, which the paper is based on, is wrong. And I'm just like, no. This is why some people, it doesn't matter what information you give them, because they are in a bubble, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day to them. They've got their, belief in, Big Pharma is out to get them. I'm sure that's what his theory is, because he's banging on about, intravenous vitamin C is somehow superior to chemotherapy. And I'm just like, that's a Burzynski clinic, by the way. So yeah, we've done videos about Burzynski, about how his clinic was shut down because of his quack nonsense. So yeah, Needless to say, I'm not bothering with this guy anymore, because sometimes you've got to cut your losses, and I've learned that in the past. Sometimes you've just got to cut your losses on some people.